I don't think that I need to convince you that assessing the security of any application is important in today's environment. Many organizations use web applications to conduct their business, and in some cases, actually are the crown jewels of that organization. Now, a web application or a web app is a client server computer program or a series of programs, right? So, a collection of different applications. Now, typically, the client connects to the web server or to the server using a web browser. Now, examples of web applications include webmail, online retail sites, social media sites, and many others. Well, you're most definitely actually taking this course via your web browser right now, so that's an example of a client-to-server web application. Now, mobile applications also use web technologies, right? Another thing is that things like HTML5 actually introduce explicit support for making applications that are loaded as web pages, but these applications can store data either locally or in the server and continue to function while they're actually offline in some cases, right? So if they actually store data locally, then you can actually continue to use the application even if you're not connected to the internet. Now, single-page application frameworks like Angular are very popular nowadays since these frameworks allow you to create applications at a much rapid pace. Now, another benefit of web applications is that most of them don't require you to install additional software in your system. Now, keep in mind that these applications often are the crown jewels for many organizations, as I mentioned before. This is why we actually have to always make sure that we understand the risk and also that we conduct ongoing security assessments of these applications. Security breaches on these kinds of applications are a major concern because it can involve both enterprise information and private customer data, right? So that's one of the major things that nowadays, with all the breaches that are in the news, you actually hear that, some web application or web infrastructure was actually attacked and personal information was actually breached, right? Now, protecting these assets is an important part of any web application, and there are some key operational areas that must be included in the development process. This includes processes for authentication, authorization, asset handling, input validation, logging, and auditing. And you're going to be learning all these throughout this course. Now, building security into the application from the beginning can be more effective and less disruptive in the long run. That's why a lot of people are actually looking into penetration testing or security assessment techniques in an ongoing basis and to push it as early as possible in the developing process. Now, another thing that is actually complicating things from a security testing perspective is how fast we're developing and changing applications, right? Many organizations are moving to embrace DevOps, continuous delivery, microservices, and cloud services, right? So these technology trends depend heavily on automation, and that results in your infrastructure actually changing at an unprecedented speed, right? So nowadays, how you develop applications and you deploy those applications are in an ongoing basis, and that's what we mention as a continuous delivery. Now, it was already a challenge to keep up with the pace of security in a traditional IT environment, and now we're faced with an exponentially more dynamic landscape to protect. So throughout this course, you will learn that doing the traditional pen testing assessment is actually not really feasible in some modern environments, right? Now, in the next lessons, we will go over application development, how actually has changed over time, and the many different concepts around DevOps, cloud services, and many other modern approaches to application security.